Hello, this is Peter Park. Korea, what's going on? Today's first news is about tattoos. So, this politician in a purple dress, she put the tattoo on her back and claims that the tattoo should be regulated so both consumers and tattoos are protected by law. So, about 15 millions of people, which is 1/3 of the whole population, has an experience of getting tattoos, which is very high percentage. And it's still illegal. So the court says everything which has some risk of infection is considered a medical activity or medical work. So basically, to get it legal, you have to get it from the doctor, the medical doctor. I mean, yeah, some of them can be very artistic, but generally most of tattooists are not doctors. So what they're doing is illegal. So in Korea, the tattoos are very like small tattoos mainly. So some people get those like for their eyebrows, especially the people who don't have that much eyebrows, or some people also get it on their head. But also their arms and legs and wherever they want, they get the tattoos. And like this person said that he didn't know that it's illegal because it's so common, and this is more those art pieces. It's not a matter of to make it legal or illegal. And this person, he did a tattoo for a famous person, like celebrity. And because he did a tattoo, he got a fine ticket from the government because this activity itself is illegal. So he said that some of his friends who got this investigation by the police, and they did even I guess kind of suicide or kind of extreme choice. So 극단적인 is like kind of radical or some extreme, and 선택 is a choice. So you can see that it's more suicidal thing. So because it's not legal, even if the consumers get some problem or something, there's no way they can get protection, because the government will say that, well, it's illegal activity, you shouldn't have done it, we're not going to do much. Of course, they can maybe give them a fine ticket or something, but that's it. There's protection for the consumer doesn't exist. But there are already like 200,000 people who are tattooists. So it is just a problem that they just only say it's legal, do not do. No, people want to do that. The country should make a law and protect the both party and maybe offer the certification or more education about the infection or the safe treatment. So a certain hospital, they actually offer the education that and how to do it safe, like how to choose a safe color, and basically if there's any problem, like what you should do, that sort of education, which is a lot better than just suppressing the whole industry, which is really popular already. Yeah, I mean, in the old time, it was mainly for the gangsters in the past. That's why maybe some old people in the court and politics, they don't acknowledge that. But they really need to see the world, what's going on, and they should offer the protection. Next news is about the 52 hours. So this current government made this regulation on their term, and they apply for the big companies but sooner or later they will apply that to very tiny companies from next month. So from 5 people but below 50 people, employees of the workplace. they cannot work over 52 hours. This is a problematic for startups. Yes, for big companies, they already usually work 40 hours per week. But for startup, they need to prove they need to survive this ultimate challenge competition worldwide. So let's say, like California, like the startup venture valleys, and many other countries too, they can work far more hours. And in the early stage, this can matter a lot because they need to prove to the investors and the market that they're doing well and they have a potential. Otherwise, they can just go decay. So some of the companies, especially startups, say that they're considering to go to different country because often they're like AI, big data, very future focused industries, and they're welcome in different countries, and they wouldn't have this regulation in a certain company. So they just want exception that, for small companies it's necessary, especially for those IT, like game, like app development, AI. It takes more time to build it. And it's not that those governments offer maybe some like hiring more employees and they pay for the salaries and those. They don't have that thing. So with a small number of people that they can afford to have, they kind of prone to working more hours. And later, if the company gets scaled up, get more investment, that's when they can do more regular hours, even less hours. So I think that the law should focus on this kind of groups where they need a certain different resources and different regulation. The last news is about the politician in Korea with the age. So in Europe, even high school kids can do the activity in the party, and quite many countries have like 30 years old, like people in the 30s can do the politician in the head, like prime minister and those. But in Korea, it is impossible. And also the ratio of those politicians under 40 years old is only 3.7%, which is 110th rank in the world. And always youngsters complain about the politician or the laws and regulation do not really help them to like find a job or to get a better education or for the housing and those necessary things for them. And a lot of people doubt that because they're too old, like they would understand. And indeed some of those not all of them, but some of the politicians say like, our time we worked harder, so you guys should harder. Like you just complain because you're too just you have a too luxurious life or something. But no, the youngsters have a different reality nowadays. It's more competitive compared to those former generations. But this gaps between the old people and the youngsters when it comes to thinking about these issues is pretty big. So I think it's better to be like increase to a certain percentage so that they can also understand and they can also claim more for the youngsters. So those are the news I picked today. I hope they were interesting and see you next time.